Okay. It's... Wow, would you look at this? That is not mine. It's just a desktop. What's there at the top? Is that an icon? Don't look at that thing. What is that? Some kind of thumbnail. I dare not open it. Anyway, hi guys. It's 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. It's Monday the 3rd of November, AD 2025, right? Yep. And you can call in. You are welcome to call in if you are catching the show live. And you're also welcome to super chat whether or not you're catching the show live. Okay. Nice. I would like to remind you all that the views expressed here, the attitudes expressed as well, do not represent me. There was a person in the comment section who said, "You're driving me crazy, Hake. You're driving me crazy because you keep saying anyway or anyways or whatever I say." I wasn't even aware that I said anyway ever. Well, okay, that's not true. I know that I say it sometimes. But I didn't know I said it like repeatedly to the point where it's like I'm unconsciously saying anyway. Oh, I can almost hear myself saying it now that you mention it, or now that I mention it. Huh. I'm going to have to be aware. Because that's what that is. It's like a lack of awareness, or not just like a lack of awareness. It's a total lack of awareness. So thank you for the heads up on that. And my apologies for driving you crazy. And so I don't represent myself well. Whatever. Anyway, so take everything with a grain of salt, you know. Yeah, do that. And it's not that serious. It's so crazy to me that people are taking it like way too seriously, this little drama between, or this drama against my competitors. It's so ridiculous. I have some competitors, you know, and these competitors are on the outs with the people who want to be on the ins. In terms of the Republican Party, what does that say? In memory of George R. Wolfe. That was in Venice Beach. It doesn't make any sense to be so beside yourself hating. If you hate the hater, the supposed hater, because my competitors are accused of being haters. I don't particularly see it, but maybe they're hateful people, but I don't particularly see it. It doesn't make any sense. Sorry for saying anyway. And my competitors, you know, the future president. And Tucker Asador wanted him to be president at one point. Catching hate from the right. It's not right. And there was this event where one of my heroes, who knows how not to get hit, even though he was a professional boxer, and he may box again, Floyd Mayweather Jr., he was the champion Israel supporter at this event. But then after all that so-called love for his support for his friends and for Israel, says it's the best place in the world. Floyd Mayweather Jr., boxer, black. Can barely like read, at least out loud. He can read. Great businessman, great fighter, great defender anyway. Self-defender. at this very same place, they're saying Tucker is not MAGA. What? Calm down. I think you guys are in your heads. Or maybe you're about something that's not necessarily quite right. Somebody said Tucker is not MEGA. Well, I disagree with Tucker on that. We should make Israel great again too, or they should make themselves great again too, and maybe we can help. I'm not against that. So it's ridiculous. All this drama. I'm referring to an event by the I forget what it was called, but anyway. Oh, there it is. The anyway. Terrible. Oh, and then I say, anyway, guys. Oh, what in the world? Look at this. Oh, that's not the Bible. That's Kate Chopin. Or Chopin. Chopin. Let's just get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. I am. And my shirt is not backwards, even though Jesse says that it looks like it's on backwards. It does fit weird, and it fits funny, and it feels weird. And by the way, with my background color, I'm on a kick fiddling with the background color on this background TV. If you're watching, you're like, what's going on with Hake's background? Maybe you didn't even notice. It's looking a touch tortured, or maybe it's just fine. Oh yeah, I don't know. Looks sort of muddy and stuff. I will get to your calls and your super chats. I did see them. TheHakeReport.com for the different ways to super chat, including YouTube, Rumble, as well as buymeacoffee.com/TheHakeReport. Even on the great Ko-fi, Ko-fi. I pronounce it that way. They don't mean for you to pronounce it that way. They mean for you to pronounce it coffee, Ko-fi.com/TheHakeReport. It's the website on which you can support Bill Lockwood as well. Pretty cool. Nice. And thank you to the D-Live crew. What is up, everybody? Oh, you found him? Did you ban him? Make sure you ban him, Chris. Marcus Jones, not welcome in the chat. We welcome, I'm sure he would be welcome into the kingdom of heaven if he were to, whatever. I wanted to show a couple of things. If we mosey on over to thehakereport.com, then you can see the GIF. I put the GIF. I called attention to the GIF. It's also known as a GIF. I have a few things going on. Kim Kardashian said the moon landing is fake. So there's a little hat tip for you space deniers. You fellow, well, she's not a space denier. Kim, that's Ye's ex-wife, the mother of his children. She was famous for being the daughter of that man, that lawyer guy involved in the O.J. Simpson trial who died. And then she had that situation put out on the internet, terrible, with that other person famously supposedly famously, I don't know. And then she's my age, and she keeps herself up pretty well. Although people speculate, and who knows. I don't like too much makeup on a gal. And I don't like features being all exaggerated. If you're naturally exaggerated, fine, whatever. Just be healthy. Just be. A moon landing conspiracy. NASA pushed back after Kim Kardashian claimed the 1969 moon landing was fake. And they say, watch this video for more. Let's see if they'll let me watch. Oh, no. I'm afraid to check this. Let's see if they make me sit through a commercial. I knew it. So NASA is always having to respond to justify themselves. Why do they do that? Let me scroll down so you don't see this ad. I don't want to promote somebody else's ad. And look, they're trying to make me sit through 12. Is that say 12? Oh, okay, good.
I didn't have Kim Kardashian is a moon landing conspiracy theorist on my bingo card this week, but here we are. Look, conspiracy theories about the 1969 Apollo 11 mission have been around since day one. Stanley Kubrick directed it. That's one of the conspiracy theories out there. So why are we devoting some time to this tonight? Because
Look, so
until
real.
now, the people calling BS on Neil Armstrong,
Bogus
Buzz
speech.
Aldrin, and Michael Collins, you know, American heroes who were on that mission, not to mention the entire ground crew at NASA, haven't had what Kim Kardashian does. Hundreds of millions of followers on her own TV show in which to talk about some very old lunar lunacy. Tom Foreman tonight has more on what happened somewhere between the moon and New York City.
2, 1, engines full power, and liftoff.
Just as the U.S. prepares to go back to the moon, hopefully in the near future, an old conspiracy theory about the first moon landing in 1969 is being relaunched by reality TV star Kim Kardashian.
I think it didn't happen.
How's that again?
I think it didn't happen.
Clearly not keeping up with science.
That's funny.
Kardashian laid out a crater.
You know, that's funny because she was Kanye's wife, and Kanye, he doesn't like Kanye anymore because it's like a slave name, he said. Although I like that name. Yay. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And I don't know what he thinks, but anyway.
Full of misleading questions on her show. How is the flag waving with no wind? How come photos of the astronauts don't show stars behind them? She even name-checked the second person to step onto the lunar surface after astronaut Neil Armstrong.
I've seen a few videos on Buzz Aldrin talking about how it didn't happen. He says it all the time now in interviews. So maybe we should find Buzz Aldrin.
To be clear, Aldrin, now 95, once got into a fight with a landing denier and has described his walk on the moon many times.
I was fascinated by the boot prints, the precision of which that dust on the moon replicated the impression of the boot.
NASA is not...
Yeah, because nothing else walks on it, so I guess it just settles and sits there. NASA what?
Having Kardashian's claims, with the acting administrator posting on X, yes, we've been to the moon before, 6 times.
Whoa. Ah!
As for those questions that have long fueled loony lunar conspiracies, the
fall.
flag had a wire frame inside so it would stand out proudly. Stars cannot be seen in the photos because the moon's surface is so bright, just like we can't see them on Earth in the daytime. To be sure, with so many fake images flooding the internet these days...
But wait a minute. We can't see the stars during our daytime because our atmosphere is bright. But the moon doesn't have much atmosphere. But I guess that's because the surface is bright, and so in order for it, you'd have to dim down and make the surface very dark, and then you would see stars, maybe? Because, yeah, you know, you'd have to, what is it called? Is it close the aperture or something? I don't know. Never mind. You know, anyway, here, let's go ahead and finish this.
Easy to see why some folks might suspect that a moon landing just could not have happened more than 50 years ago, even though it did. And
he's trolling you. The guy reporting this is posing as though he's inside the spacesuit of the astronaut.
Might suspect that a
That's
moon
fake.
landing just could not have happened more than 50 years ago, even though it did. And unlike Robert Goddard, Mary Sherman Morgan, or Wernher von Braun, Kardashian is not a rocket scientist.
They're gonna say I'm crazy no matter what. But like, go to TikTok, see for yourself.
Even if her opinions might sometimes seem a little spacey.
That's one small step for man.
Isn't
Tom
that cute?
Foreman, CNN.
One giant leap for mankind.
Washington.
Isn't that cute? Go to TikTok. Go to YouTube. Go to BitChute. What a mess. So that's... Shout out. Who are you going to believe? Commie Nonsense or TikTok? I was curious to see the... Before I get to your calls, hang tight. I know. I understand. I was curious to see the Blue Mosque. 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit Afghanistan earlier today. 6.3, that's nothing to sneeze at. Reportedly, according to CNN, killed more than a dozen people. Here, let me speak into the mic, right? And leaving the iconic Blue Mosque, which I guess survived, surrounded by rubble. Whoa in the world. Look at this. Ridiculous. Remind me not to... I think this is a GIF. They use GIFs now, or GIFs. That looks like leaves. Is that rubble? Leaves in the fall. But maybe that's just rubble. Inside or right outside the mosque. A powerful earthquake rattled northern Afghanistan, killing more than a dozen, injuring hundreds, damaging one of the country's most beautiful mosques. CNN kissing up, calling it beautiful. It might be pretty or whatever. Families jolted awake in the early hours Monday near Mazar-i-Sharif, the quake hit. A very populated city, one of the most anyway, in the north part of the country. 28 kilometers deep, 17.4 miles below the surface, which is supposedly shallow per the U.S. Geological Survey. Explain that, flat earthers. I don't know. Massive search and rescue. A child seen pulled alive from the rubble in the north part of the country per video released by the Ministry of Defense Monday morning. Girl taken to the hospital in critical condition. Imagine all the trouble that you have to go through with the search and rescue. The Blue Mosque damaged in the quake, and they capitalized B and M for blue and mosque for some reason. I feel like I might have seen this before. Look at that rubble. Afghan earthquake survivor. This must be this morning that this was taken, or today. You know, there are several hours ahead of us. By the way, we fell back. In the fall, you fall back. And in the northern hemisphere, you fall back. Yeah, like Afghanistan is mountainous. You see the hint of mountain in the background? I wasn't aware of that until I saw one of those war movies, those recent war movies, like, I don't know if it was American Sniper or Last Survivor or something, Lone Survivor or something, where you see these guys, these Afghanistan people, scaling and climbing down and running down the hill all fast and efficiently. Pretty cool. Got to appreciate. It's kind of like parkour the guy was doing. It's awesome. I think that was Afghanistan, right? And I never knew that there was anywhere else that's pretty other than like America. And, you know, Austria and stuff. Well, anyway, here, let me see the Blue Mosque. Let me search it. Let me hope to, oh man. Blue Mosque, real quick. Images. I don't know. Istanbul? No. We're talking about Afghanistan. Istanbul is in Turkey, right? I don't know. Okay, let me do this. There we go. Afghanistan. I might have seen this before with those bubble things. Those domes. I don't know. All right. We'll keep it moving. It's not urgent. We can look it up later. Damaged shops pictured along a highway. Wow, look at that. The shops are just right next to this hill, mountain thing, cliff type of hill thing. In this, that's like a ravine. That's not, I don't know. Well, shout out Afghanistan. What a mess. This was amusing, real quick. Oh, what's her name? You know, the new prime minister woman? By the way, she didn't get remarried to a different man. She remarried the same man she divorced. This woman wants to meet with Kim Jong Un. Sanae Takaichi. She was Sanae Yamamoto? Or Yamamoto Sanae? And now she's Takaichi Sanae? Because she went back to her maiden name, and then when she remarried the guy, the first marriage to the same guy, she took his name. The second marriage, he took her name. Ugh. And she divorced him, according to Wikipedia, right, and the tabloids. She divorced him because she had a different political opinion from him and because she had political aspirations. And both of them are like political people. What a mess. I wonder if they have children. I don't know, but I don't know. But she wants to meet with, and I don't know what Japan thinks of Kim Jong Un and North Korea, but no Japanese leader has met with the North Korean leader in more than 20 years. Now, that's not that long because I feel like the other Kim whatever, his dad, Kim Jong Un's dad, had been in power for a long time. But she wants to meet with Kim Jong Un. I want the leaders to face each other directly and achieve concrete results. We'll see what happens. Huh? How's Kim Jong Un doing? I feel like he's my age, plus or minus. And there she is, with her nice smile, I guess. Are those Americans behind her? Because Trump met with her just recently. Hold a summit meeting. Well, Trump met with Kim Jong Un his first term, and he was thinking about maybe doing it. He teased maybe doing it, but he didn't this time around, maybe another time. What do they want? Break through and resolve the abduction issue during my tenure. What's happened? What abduction issue? At least 17 of Japan's citizens were snatched, according to Japan, by North Korean agents in the late 1970s and 1980s. 5 citizens returned in 2002. The abductions appear to have been part of North Korea's espionage program, per a 2014 UN report. Pyongyang, that's the capital of North Korea, disputes the total number taken and says some died in traffic and drowning accidents, as well as suicide, and they are considering the manner, they consider the matter over. But for the families of the Japanese abductees, more than 40 years ago, seemingly, plus or minus, who remain missing, some of whom were just teenagers when they were taken. There's been no, there's that liberal mama word, closure or relief. They, along with Japan's revolving doors of leaders over the years, have continued pressing the issue with little success. It's interesting. Sometimes you never will know. Takaichi has met with the abductees' families twice since taking office, once with our greatest President Trump, one of the times, with his visit in Japan. She previously said she's committed to completing the mission of her mentor, former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who introduced the abductees' families to Trump during the U.S. president's first term, before Shinzo Abe, I think it was after he finished being prime minister, was assassinated. Remember, he was shot and killed. Whew. And Trump liked him. The two countries held an did she call him a mentor? The Shinzo Abe guy? The two countries held an unprecedented summit in 2002. Who did? Who? You talking about North Korea did? With Japan's then Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi. Pardon my butchering of the name. Visiting the North Korean capital, Pyongyang, to meet Kim Jong Un. Hey, that's the guy, the father of Kim Jong Un. That was the first time a Japanese prime minister visited North Korea since the end of World War II. Huh? Whoa. Look at that. That was back then in 2002. It looks like the 90s, but it was 2002. Because the early 2000s are basically the 90s left over. That's how the decades work, you'll notice. It was also the first time North Korea acknowledged, in terms of style and stuff, North Korea acknowledged its role in the abductions. Whoa! After many years of denial. Wasn't us. Kim Jong Il offered an apology at the time, saying the agents responsible had been punished and promised to prevent it happening again, per government statements by the Japanese at the time. The 5 detainees were returned to Japan the following month, reunited with their families 20 to 30 years after their abduction. I never knew this. Well, you never know what kind of mess is going on in the world, huh? Interesting. So she wants to meet with them again. But they're saying, no, it's over. I wonder if she'll just cause more mess, you know? A lot of times women might do that. Shout out to her. Huh. What a mess. So we'll see what happens. All right, so let me get to some calls here. And I want to get to your super chats. Want to keep it moving. Abductees, who knew? Okay, Art in Ohio is on the line over here. Art, thank you for calling and holding, sir. What's up?
Hey, what's up, my main man? Hey.
Doing well, thank you.
That's what's up. So did you hear about the gays over there in UK getting jumped by the Muslims?
No.
Yeah, I guess this just happened just recently or whatnot, like over the last 12 to 16 hours probably.
Oh, okay. So that's just different from the train stabbing incident, which took place, I guess, Saturday or something?
Yeah. And see, I just caught the tail end of that. I don't even really even know as far as what happened with that. I just know that.
Yeah.
Me either. From what? Yeah.
It looked like it was a black suspect, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like an African.
Yeah. But they saying how they trying to word it. You know how they do with a.
Oh yeah, they called it a British man. So maybe he was a British English citizen, or I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, basically like a foreigner that came there and they calling him a citizen because they had paper, but when actuality they really an immigrant or a foreigner. You see what I'm saying? So they playing that little liberal word game salad they be playing to confuse everybody with all in the back of your head, same way they do in American news when how they read the script off the news. You can automatically know in the back of your head who they talking about when they because prime example, if it's somebody white to do something, they quick to put them on the news and be like, white man bad. But if it's a black, if it's a black person or whatnot, they try to hide their identity. You know what I mean, or whatnot. And with the females or whatnot, if you notice, when it's always like a police body cam or something, they always seem to cover the female's face up, whether they the victim or the suspect. But they always seem to leave the man's face uncovered, whether they the suspect or the victim.
Yeah.
And I just find that, you know, it's very obvious.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That y'all covering the females' faces up, but y'all always showing the males. And if you notice, you sit back and you watch it, you notice they always do that or whatnot. Bam. So, no, I was just going to say that about the with the little stuff over there at UK, because they, just like we said over here or whatnot, y'all sitting, how's the LGBTQ rolling with Muslims and Muslims is against LGBTQ?
Yeah.
So we been predicted and said that this was going to happen or whatnot. And I said it from the start. I said they going to end up turning on each other. And they going to go for the weakest link first. The weakest link is the LGBTQ or whatnot, and then they going to work their way on up or whatnot. But this is a small portion size of dessert or what's to come or whatnot, because, you know, they don't seem to realize stuff or whatnot. But
well, you know what?
Go ahead.
Everybody's selfish, and so and then everybody's weak or obnoxious on some level. And when all is no longer well, or else your enemy is not around to fight with, you turn on each other.
Yeah. And just like we noticing how Bill Gates is coming out and saying that the global warming is not so much global warming, and we're not pushing the global warming stuff. No, man, bro, we didn't need you to say that, bro. Common sense.
I saw something like that.
Yeah. I think I remember on your show you was asking me like, hey, Art, do you believe in global warming? I said, man, every day the temperature changes. Every day. So, of course it's going to be a fluctuation in it. But long story short, I said, I don't believe in no global warming. It ain't. If you got common sense, you know it ain't enough data for them to even come to that conclusion. Like, who knows what the temperature was back when allegedly Jesus was walking around on Earth? For you to be able to say it's global warming, you would have to have factual statistics from back then when Jesus was walking to compare to now,
right?
To analyze to say so. Common sense, would tell somebody that don't got to be went to school and sat in Bill Gates' class to be on his brain functioning and be smart enough to know that that's a whole bunch of BS.
Bogus speech.
Bogus speech or whatnot. So bam, yeah. So that's another thing that I don't like about that's another thing I don't like about the right and the conservative. Why Bill Gates or you got somebody like a Nicki Minaj, they come out and say, oh, we like Trump, then you see the right, you hear Nicki Minaj, she said she liked what Trump, like, okay, and she said that in what? Are we supposed to give her a sticker on her shirt and tell her she's going to the end of the week party for participating in the We Like the Trump, the Trump program? Like, it's like the right is so concerned with getting a pat on the back from the left.
Yeah,
like,
that's so true.
I don't get it. Like, why do you need what do you need to pat on the back from the people that was supporting the pedophiles and the immoral people? The immoral people. You want to pat on the back from the people that's immoral?
It doesn't make sense.
Okay. It doesn't make no sense at all. And then, you notice what I noticed about the old folks or whatnot, the old black females or whatnot in the 1960s or whatnot. Go back and watch some of them clips, old school clips, and watch how the black females was talking about the government assistance and the food stamps. You notice they was real conservative with they speaking, basically on some, yes, sir, boss, can you please give us food stamps? And they was real particular about basically not coming on the TV and being like, hey, you going to give us food stamps. They basically, the old people from back in that time, they was basically nice And I ain't gonna even say nice. They was just basically more feminine back in that time. And the females, they was like, yes, boss, give us this free stuff. And you flip the switch all the way to now. You look at them, y'all gonna give me that free food stamps. And it's like, huh? So basically what I'm saying is they were smart enough back in the 1960s to know if you're gonna ask somebody for something, you at least need to be nice. Right. You turn it back to 2025, these mofos is coming out like, you gonna give me food stamps, and I don't care who like it, and my baby dad gonna still be paying. Like, bro, hold up, man, give me my stuff back. We ain't giving you nothing.
I know.
If you're gonna be talking like that, so I'm bringing that up to say, all these years that they don't have food stamps and EBT, these females, it didn't dawn on them in the back of their head. Common sense would tell ain't nothing forever. They thought that food stamps was going to be forever. And I'm bringing this up now. Watch how I bring this train all the way back around. I seen a picture with Ilhan Omar. She was on there with her white daddy savior or whatnot. And she was like, she made a post or whatnot because it was a lady standing in the street blocking ICE. And I made the comment. I said, everything is all fun and everybody he until them cups go on. And through my experience, when soon as them cups go on, the tears start flowing. You see what I'm saying? I don't see the biggest tank gangsters, the biggest from the smallest, tallest gangsters. When them cups go on, they get the snitching, twitching, and flipping. So all that little stuff, the Omar plan or whatnot, they thought the food stamps forever. You thought that American citizenship is forever. And you're going to find out real quick that it ain't going to be nothing to get you up out of America legally. Ain't nothing, I don't understand why they keep trying to test and thinking that with the abortion stuff, how that was reversed and stuff. Like, just because we gave you citizen don't mean we can't snatch it from right back up under you. Just because, we let you in our crib. Don't think we can't kick you up out. Don't you getting a little bit too big head, just like these welfare queens is too. And we'll snatch them food stamps right from up under your citizenship right with you. So keep playing games, keep basically agitating the American citizens, and we're going to see what's going to end up happening. The American citizens, we going to get our due process, and we're going to hold everybody that needs to be held accountable. Thank you for your time. I'll catch you later, Gator.
Thank you, sir. Take care, Art.
Yep. Already.
Bye. I'm chuckling because I'm looking at some headlines. Trump tells Ilhan Omar, according to Politico, to leave the country. Trump suggests, according to WSBT, Ilhan Omar return to Somalia after a video praising her homeland. And a couple of days, that was yesterday, right? 18 hours ago. A couple of days ago, Ilhan Omar lashed out at quote-unquote childish and dangerous Trump over a so-called tantrum about a commercial. I wonder if that's related to the Canadian TV ad. Yeah. Lord. She went and talked to this guy, Dean Obeidallah. Interesting. Isn't it nice, Trump, not afraid to put the smackdown, rhetorically speaking, metaphysically speaking, against these evil gals who hide behind their foreignness because you're not supposed to criticize the foreigners. You're being racist. What a mess. Right on, Trump. Very nice. Speaking of our greatest president, Trump, this gal, Nicki Minaj, a rapper, singer gal or something. What does this say about her? What does her profile say? Hopefully not something bad. On X. Okay, and it doesn't say anything about just that she has some album. Reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude, states this gal on X. We live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other, states she. Numerous countries all around the world are being affected by this horror. What horror? I'll tell you in a sec. And it's dangerous to pretend we don't notice. Thank you to the president, capital P and capital T, the president, and his team for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian. Let's remember to lift them up in prayer. And she shares a Truth Social screenshot, I surmise, from our greatest president, real Donald Trump. Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria, stated Trump. He continues, thousands of Christians being killed. Radical Islamists, he says. And this is an African country. This is not like Middle East. It's like West Africa, right? Nigeria? Do we have people, like the people who became slaves into America, were they like originally from Nigeria or something? They're like the strong-looking ones. Because then there's the little ones who are good at running forever. Kenya and stuff. But they weren't really the ones who came into America from way back in the olden days. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. And that's a quote in all caps, says Trump. Radical Islamists, he said, are responsible for this mass slaughter, said Trump. A country of particular concern, but that is the least of it, said Trump. When Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide, 3,100 in Nigeria versus 4,476 worldwide. So what, are they like almost 3/4 of the Christians killed or just killed in Nigeria? Or is it like 40% of the Christians killed? Is the 4,476 worldwide exclude? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's huge. There's big numbers, right? And if worldwide you can find 4,476 Christians killed and then 3,100 in Nigeria, that's a lot either way, right? Across what time span? I don't know. Anyway, something must be done, says Trump. I'm asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole, and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great, capital G, Christian, capital C, population around the world. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. So we'll see what happens. It's reminiscent of Trump calling out the attack on the farmers and the genocide happening against the Boers, the Afrikaners, the whites in South Africa. He said that during his first term, and he directed Secretary Pompeo to look into it. Pompeo, did he do anything? I don't know. But thankfully, Trump brought a few dozen, 60-something, 59 or 60-something refugees here into America from South Africa. We'll see what happens with the Nigerians. I've known some Nigerians because they come in here and they're Nigeria demographics, religion. Let's see what happens. A majority, okay, Nigeria's population roughly split between Muslims and Christians, if you're one of those people, with estimates around 50 to 53.5% Muslim and 45 to 49% Christian. Huh? Approximately 1 to 3% follow other religions or no religion. Islam is the dominant religion in the northern regions. Is that where that green is up there? Christianity dominant in the south, the beautiful south. Just like in America, they have Islam and atheism in the north, and Christianity, so-called, in the beautiful South of America, right? In America, United States. Both are present throughout the country. Christianity, Islam, two major accounts. Interesting. 10% Catholic, 35% Protestant, by the way. And 53.5% Muslim, per Wikipedia, per the far left Google summary. You're supposed to use start page if you want some privacy. Thank you, Nicki Minaj. That's nice. She sang that one song, Starships Were Meant to Fly. So shout out, you space deniers. Isn't that nice? And she's from the island. I don't know if she's even, I don't know what she is, but I'd rather not look into her because she seems like, this is a family-friendly show. Let me get back to the calls, and I will get to your super chats. Okay? What did I do? That's funny. I must have fiddled with something. Turn that back on. All right. Anthony in SoCal is on the line over here. Anthony, thank you for holding, sir. Appreciate you calling.
What's up? Morning.
Hey.
Hey, sorry, give me 1 second, man.
Okay. Anthony in SoCal, been on hold for quite some time. He is the Coptic Christian.
Thank you.
And he is pro-Israel, like me.
Sorry, hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah, shout out Art, man. Sorry, I'm trying to get a area with good signal.
Thank you, sir. You're sounding pretty consistently good, I think.
Sweet. So, yeah, dude, shout out Art. I was curious I want to talk about the Christian thing and the Muslim thing. What should I start with first?
Oh, start with what you want to get to first. Just for the sake of priority.
Sweet. So, I mean, I guess with the shout out William. I hope he doesn't take it personal. I mean, I was thinking about it and I realized if I believe Jesus is God and he doesn't, then of course anything, against that would seem like putting Jesus down. So,
oh yeah.
So I realized.
I understood that.
Yeah. But it's interesting. I like the verses he brought up. I mean,
you're referring to William 7. William III doesn't really talk about religion much, but William 7 referenced some verses about Jesus praying to God and saying he does nothing but what the Father tells him to do, because you believe Jesus is God, and you thought that he sounded like a Jehovah's Witness, which he is not. And so, go ahead.
No, yeah. So I only asked just so I could it's helpful to know why people think what they think. So I just ask about the denomination, so it gives me just a better idea of where people are coming from. I believe that within that context, for example, I totally agree with William when he says, the word is God. And just a few verses later, it also says and the word became flesh and dwelt among us. So it's one of those things where I get what he's saying if, you're just picking out a verse and reading it on its own. But once you read it in the full context, you kind of have a better idea of the full picture. It's like trying to see what the puzzle looks like from one puzzle piece will give you that impression that maybe he's just a man or something. But once you read the context, it makes it clear. So, yeah, I mean, when it comes to like the Father is greater than I, also within that verse, I'm going just off memory, but I think he also says within that chapter, if you've known me, you've known the Father also. Why do you say, show us the Father, you know, if you've seen me? And it kind of reemphasizes the idea when Paul says, you know, Jesus is the icon of the image of the invisible God. And, you know, I don't want to dump too much, but I also think in that chapter, you know, it says, whatever you ask in my name, I will do that, so that the Father may be glorified and the Son may be glorified in the Father. So Jesus is basically saying, like, you could pray to me, I'll answer your prayers. It's kind of showing his omnipotence. You know, if he could answer prayers, that's probably not like a regular human like me and you, you know. So there's a lot of that. He also says, you know, honor the Father the same way you honor the Son. So when we honor the Father, you know, we pray to the Father, we say the Father is God. Well, you show that same honor to the Son as well. And I also believe that, last point I'll make on that is, there were several instances when Jesus was going to be stoned by the Pharisees. For example, you know, when he was talking about Abraham, and the Pharisees were like, well, you're barely 50. You're not even 50. Why are you talking about Abraham? They thought he was possessed by a demon. And he says, well, before Abraham was, I am. Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he was glad when he saw it. And we know that in the Old Testament, this is like one of the theophanies I was talking about, where Jesus appears, he's incarnate he's pre-incarnate in the Old Testament several times, and he reemphasizes that in the New Testament in that verse I was referencing. So after he said that, you know, they took up stones to stone him, and he left the temple. You know, so I totally get where William's coming from. I totally respect it, and I don't want to argue about it. It's just I like discussing these topics. You know, it's interesting to see what other people think and why they think that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, nice. It often descends into an intellectual conversation about what verses mean, and it is a bunch of ego judgment, and the people get temporarily obsessed with it, like it's an ego battle. I've noticed.
Oh, yeah, no, I see that sometimes. I mean, I try to avoid that. I just try to read the text in context. But I think, yeah, I just think that's what the text says, you know. And it's not like proving you right or wrong. I'm always I call in about what people say, because I'm always concerned about like more of what they say versus who they are. Like, anyone could be bringing this up and it would just catch my attention. You know, it's like the same thing with Israel. It's like, I remember once you mentioned, like, you catch yourself defending Israel and you're not even Israeli, but I was thinking about it, and it's like, it's not like you defend Israel, you're just defending, you're just catching a lie and trying to defend the truth. You know, if that makes sense. It's not so much like you're a shill for Israel. You just see someone saying something that isn't necessarily true, and so you stick your neck out and correct it and get called like a Mossad agent or whatever.
It's not even so much the what you're doing, it's what's motivating what you're doing. If it's a pride, if it's an ego, if it's an excitement, if it's a rearing up of the demon in you attacking and standing up for the quote-unquote truth. Because you'll notice practically everybody, I'll just say everybody, thinks that they're standing for the truth.
Good point. Yep. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I guess it really just comes down to like, the individual's intentions, and I mean, and if we take that, that idea seriously, it's like we could never disagree about anything, without being influenced by Satan or whatever, as you call it. It's like we can't do that. Of course, people disagree about things, and it's not all necessarily ego. It's sometimes there's truth behind it that, it's good to know, or people should know, because otherwise, people disagree about a lot of things all the time, and Satan, I mean, and I'm not trying to like be like all biblically backing things up, but I mean, Jesus didn't necessarily come to unite us. He came to divide father and son, mother and daughter, and I think it's because the truth just pierces through these kind of things. But I don't know what you think about that. It's, I could see where you're coming from, but I try not to be too like personal about it, or, like attack individuals or anything. I just try to challenge the idea.
Yeah. Do you know any truth without reading it in the Bible?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What makes you say that?
What you mean. It depends what you mean by truth. Like for example, William brought up like this hyper skeptical perspective, like borderline solipsistic, where you can't really know something is true unless, for example, you meet a person. So like, with that in that idea, you can't like, I don't know if Donald Trump's really president right now because I never really met him. For all, it could be.
You're referring to the Muhammad could be in heaven question. That one.
Well, not even. I'm more so the framework of how that reasoning came about. It's not so, we could replace that with anything, but just the methodology of understanding that truth was hyper skeptical. So relating it back to what you said, like, can you know any truth without the Bible? It depends what kind of truth. Like an absolute, like people mean different things by that.
What did you mean when you said yeah?
I meant one that you could just it's more of like an internal critique. So like if people, it's not so much if people think it's true, but if all the evidence points, or if using your reasoning you see that something is true, then it's true. And if you're being honest about it and you're taking the opposite side and seeing what they think and seeing if they think it's true or not, or if it's false, playing both sides, and realizing that, oh, well, you know what, maybe there's some truth there. That's kind of what I meant. I know that's not very articulate.
No, you're fine.
But we definitely can't say, well, we can't know any truth for sure. Like there's some things we can't know, but it's almost like the flat Earth type of idea. Like that's the skepticism I'm not comfortable with. Like, okay, well, you can't take a rocket out in space yourself and see the round Earth, so therefore the Earth isn't round. We can't live like that. so even though I didn't take a rocket up in space and I didn't see it for myself, I could still gather enough information about where we live using things that people say is true that you could confirm yourself, and realize, yeah, maybe the Earth kind of is a globe thing, without seeing it from the atmosphere.
I got you.
Know? Yeah.
Would you like to talk with William 7? He's on the line here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, let me bring him up. Oh, Lord. Oh, loud. William 7. My bag. William 7, are you there? Thanks for holding. Calling.
I am here, Mr. Hake. Good morning, Mr. Anthony.
Hey, William. Good morning, sir.
Hey, sir. So, how ironic that Hake mentioned you're Coptic Orthodox. The church right by me that closed down, one of the Seventh-day Adventist offshoots, just changed to Coptic Orthodox. And I had just looked into it because I was thinking about going and seeing what they're all about.
No way, man.
Nice.
No, I'm not joking. Isn't that amazing?
That's actually pretty amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
well,
by no means, Anthony, did I get offended by you. I think you're very well... I think you're civilized, you're very well spoken, and you're calm, and I believe the Spirit of God is with you. At least it seems like it. And so I'm not at all offended, and I am actually more than eager to discuss the minutia of these theories that all Christianity seems to argue about.
Just in short. Yeah.
What's that?
Just in short, because I don't want to spend too much time.
I know, because of time. So shoot, Anthony, go ahead. I'm not a JW. I've just gone to a lot of different churches, and the only reason why I say that is when we say that it says Jesus was the expressed image, let's not forget that Adam was also made in the image of God, and we just come from Adam. And in the book of Hebrews, it states the spiritual. When Jesus was with the Father in heaven, let's not forget, our spirit was with the Father before we were incarnated here on this earth, because Hebrews also mentions that, or maybe I should say alludes to that. And don't forget, the scripture also says that when we depart, departure from this world is present with the Lord, back to God we go, where our spirit came from. So if our spirit also came from God, it also returns and waits for judgment. So let's not forget about the judgment. So I don't know if that kind of explains things a little bit, but there you go.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that a bit more, because I think you're saying our souls our spirit pre-exists, or you're saying our spirit is also the spirit of God.
Yeah, well, everything came from God. Nothing that was made that wasn't made. And I also say that First John is talking about God himself, not the Son. And I think that got mixed up in translations, because if you study different languages, they'll put the order of the subject and the predicate, and sometimes the adjectives get switched around. And from one language, it thinks we're talking about the first subject when it's actually the other subject. That's why you got to discern it and put rightly divide the word. So, and that's okay. Like I said, the truth will come out in the end anyway, and I'm not really worried about it. But it is interesting, right, so, that. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So, when the word becomes flesh, are you saying that's just like we have to do like with all due respect, some intellectual exercise to avoid the implications of that, or how exactly do you interpret the idea that the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, while also asserting that the Word is God?
Well, let's be careful with interpreting, because of the biblical question. So I know we want to interpret stuff. So basically, when the Scripture says that the Word became flesh, and man, I hate to say this because the Mormons feel this. This is one of the contentions we all have with the Mormons, that we, oh man, I just lost my train of thought, man. That's not good on air. Man, that is not good. What a boomer.
What's it mean? Hake. What's it mean that the Word became flesh?
Oh, thank you. Nice. That Jesus, the Word, God's Word became flesh, meaning Jesus didn't change it. It came directly from God. Unlike Satan, when he caused Adam to fall, he lied, steal, destroyed. His goal was to destroy Adam, and God wasn't going to have it. And so basically God raised Jesus spiritually in the heavens, so when he came down, and the Holy Spirit, and after the baptism, Jesus was not endowed with that power until John the Baptist saw the Spirit come down on him like a dove, and the Spirit told him, and when you saw that, that was the Messiah. And that is exactly what happens, and that's what's supposed to happen to us, and it's what happened on Pentecost. That's why those apostles were full of power. Not seeing it today, but yeah, so when the Word became flesh, it meant the truth, to the point that Jesus never changed the message and died on a cross, an innocent man, because the Pharisees wrongly accused him of claiming to be God, when all he brought was his message unadulterated.
Okay, well, I definitely I see where you're coming from, but it seems like a lot of explanation for the plain reading. But you brought up some good points.
I'm just saying that's how I don't, did anything I say sound far-fetched or unnatural? I mean, think about it, how you want the best for your kids, and yet they don't get it, they don't understand it. They think you hate them, and yet you're trying to teach them the best. And I'm raising an 18 or 17-year-old right now, and it's been a struggle during the teenage years, because they're at that point where they wrestle with everything you tell them. And I don't think I'm saying anything that's ridiculous, but that's just, and I could be wrong. Absolutely, I could be wrong. So
yeah, I just see it very simply. If God is the Word and the Word became flesh, then God became flesh and dwelt among us. And it's I kind of see when the Pharisees try to stone Jesus several times, you ask yourself why.
Right.
It's because he's making himself out almost to be Yahweh.
Well, and we know it's through jealousy. I mean, even the Romans saw they were jealous because his message was pure, the people realized, and they saw that the Pharisees were whitewashed on the outside, but full of evil on the inside, because they didn't care about the truth. They set up so many laws and didn't help the people. In fact, they were grumbling on the way to go to the festivals of God that the men were supposed to come worship God, and they're grumbling because they're getting ripped off by the people at the temple with the animals. And nothing's new under the sun. It still happens today.
Totally.
So, yeah.
I like it, William. I like it, man. I'm definitely going to look into that a bit more. I really appreciate that. Our
jurisprudence system, I'm ex-military police. Nobody is sitting around here wondering or hoping or thinking that innocent people are in jail. I'm sure they're there, but if we thought that was really the case, I would like to think we would want them out, and we'd want the real evildoers in prison, whether they're white-collar or blue-collar. Now, white-collar crime, you can steal just by writing policies, and, So anyway, but I digress. So, all right, well, hey, it's good talking to you. I'm going to get going. I'm a working man and will be probably till the day I die. So it was good talking to you. Anthony,
I appreciate it, William.
Born in L.A.
Well, no, likewise, William. Let me know. Let us know that Coptic church goes, and likewise, my break is over, Hake. I appreciate the time, William and Hake. I'll call him tomorrow, though.
I'm not going to advise you to become a Catholic. That's what I was raised in. But, hey, you do what you want. Do what you want.
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Sounds good, man.
All right. Take care, William. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate that.
Take care, Hake. Thank you, sir.
All right. We are past the top of the hour, everybody. I want to get to Alex in California on the line here. Alex, thanks for calling, sir. What's up, man?
Hey, am I breaking up?
No, so far you're okay.
Okay. Well, Hake Bear, how you doing?
Doing fine, thank you, sir.
One of my favorite little quotes this morning, and they called him king.
Wasn't that nice?
Something about that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So, quick question. You, as a white man, or just as a man, if you were to go into an establishment, let's say this establishment had a little snack shop, per se, like a little mini 7-Eleven in front, and nobody's there attending it, would you just go and just take whatever you want?
No, I was raised differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you were to walk up to an establishment, let's just say like Target or something, and there's a sliding glass door that is the entrance, and it's locked. So if you walked up to the glass door that's locked, would you try to pry it open?
No, I wouldn't.
Isn't that strange?
It is, because there's people who are different from that.
I mean, the door's locked for a reason. It just seems so odd to me. It's such a basic thing. I've relocated locations at my job. A little bit of an upgrade, but a bit of a demographic shift.
Oh, boy.
It's just nonstop, just Mexicans coming in and stealing, and it's out of control. I've already kind of let the people know what's going on, but it's like every time this little shop is unattended, we get Sticky Fingers Sanchez and his buddies, amigos, coming in and taking everything they want. And I just think it's bizarre to be comfortable with like walking up to a locked door at an establishment and trying to pry it open.
Yeah.
These are just like non-white behaviors, at least in my opinion.
In my experience, you are right. And that's part of the reason we don't need or want this diversity, this immigration, much less illegal immigration, but even the legal immigration. We have the government filled with people who have this mindset where they will help people out who are their friends or they feel like they're on their side at the welfare office. Oh, we'll make sure that you're hooked up well. Stuff like that. And that's why I was happy that Doge was happening, and I was happy that Trump was trying to fire a lot of people and downsize at least the federal government, but the state and the city and all. There's a corrupt culture that has taken over in America, and it's not right.
Yeah, and these aren't even like illegals or homeless. These are just regular normie Mexicans.
Yeah, I know. I grew up with some of these people who have this mindset of sneaking in and stealing and all kinds of stuff.
Nope. Nobody's there, so that makes it okay.
Yeah. And then and what's funny is I remember one time I had a Mormon friend who was white, and he threw his pearls before swine and advised one of the Mexican friends not to do that. Put it back, give it back. And he got ticked. The Mexican friend got ticked at this white Mormon friend who wanted to be honest. You know, he was like an Eagle Scout type of a guy. And so he returned the thing by himself and said, oh, sorry, my friend here stole this or took it or whatever. And he returned something. It was like at a Hollywood video or something. They stole some poster off of, the window thing. So but anyway, that's just an example of that. And these are good guys. They're nice guys, but I'm using the term good, of course, very loosely. But they are Democrats. They are illegals. Some of them, or their parents were, and they are Obama supporters and a mess.
Yeah, stealing it just happens to be like my number one hated sin.
Yeah.
I don't participate in it. And I mean, obviously, we've seen all the Snap stuff. It's just funny how we went from calling him King to, King, can we please have some more Snap money?
I know.
Make that make sense. These people have no brains.
They don't. And you know what? There are these communists who used to call into my show. Some of them I've had to ban, respectfully, I had to ban them. But they would justify it and say, you guys talk about these black and brown people stealing, but you don't talk about the white collar crime and the theft and fraud on the grand scale.
Joe.
Yeah, I'm totally talking about him. But that's a communist line. And
well, the one that I hear all the time is, well, you guys, steal land. It's like, we didn't steal the land, we conquered it or we purchased it.
Right. Yeah. This type of stealing, this rampant stealing, is what takes down companies sometimes, and it takes down areas. It diminishes the value of an area or the ability of a business to do business in an area. You heard about Rite Aid closing. So
yeah.
I mean,
and then obviously everything's locked up everywhere.
Yeah.
Depending on where you live. Yeah.
This is affecting people's quality of life. And of course I'm for actual full-blown real white-collar crime getting caught too. But the POCs are the ones who are of the culture who would do white-collar crime too.
Well, another side thing is that for people like me, it creates an Amazon customer versus a real-life customer.
Yeah, right. Good point.
I don't know if that really matters or not. It doesn't to me, but that might matter in some way to somebody. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we have all these regulations that make it difficult enough to do business. And then you had these shutdowns that destroyed local businesses, and Amazon thrived, as did like Uber Eats and these other like advanced technological companies, which whatever, but some of this fiddling didn't have to happen. And this destruction of businesses did not have to happen, but they did it.
I haven't actually witnessed any like articles or anything about people snapping over Snap. Have you seen that or in your area at all? Or people keeping it under control?
I haven't heard of anything happen in real life. All I've heard online are just empty threats. It's not as if everybody's not already stealing anyway. Everybody who's gonna steal is already stealing.
They're like, we're gonna start robbing you. It's like, start?
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, and then one last little thing that clicked, little Hakeism. You often, not often, but occasionally you'll mention that you like a deep-voiced woman.
Yeah.
And now I was like, what the, what is that all about?
Uh-huh.
And then the other day I'm hearing this bra just yapping and yammering, and it's really annoying. She's got a really high mid range voice, and it's just piercing.
Yeah.
And it clicked. I'm like, oh wow. That's why Hake likes those deep-voiced women, because when they yap and they yammer about things that don't matter, at least it's at a lower register and it doesn't give you as much ear fatigue.
True. Yeah. There's something odd about I mean, women tend to talk too much, and it's males do too. But a deep-voiced woman kind of signifies like a woman who's lived a life a bit. Maybe she smoked because she was judgmental, but she's a little bit more no-nonsense. I don't know. And it's just sort of an amusing thing to say. But yeah, part of it is that irritation of some women's voices are more obnoxious than others.
Oh, yeah. It just made total sense. So you're not weird for saying that.
Nice. Right
All
on,
right, you have a good one, Hake.
You too, sir. Appreciate your calls. Take care. Bye. Kevin in New York. Kevin, thanks for calling and holding, sir. What's up?
Hey, can you hear me clearly?
I can.
Oh, all right. I was just asking because just a little while ago, it's not doing it anymore, but it sounded like it was kind of robot-y and stuff.
Oh,
anyway.
When you were listening to me, it turned kind of robot-y?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder if there's something going on. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the feedback.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, to get to what I called about, I kind of wanted to throw in my 2 cents about what you guys were talking about earlier.
Yes. About Jesus being Jesus. God or not?
Yeah. Well, I'm in the thought that Jesus isn't God, and that the reason why people are still disputing it today is kind of the same reasons why people were disputing Jesus' authenticity back then, even amongst regular people and even amongst the Pharisees. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by his authenticity? In short, I think I kind of know what you mean, but just to clarify a touch.
Well, just as people were there listening to Jesus speak, some people took his words and misconstrued them. You know what I mean? Because he called himself the Son of God, right?
Yes.
And the Pharisees themselves basically interpreted. They got angry at that because the way that they interpret that as Jesus was making himself out to be equal to God.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And why would God have a son? When was God ever in the presence of a woman? Is what they said. You know.
Yeah.
But the reason why it's so confusing for people nowadays is, I think, is because of the authority that God gave Jesus and the things that he did.
Well,
you know?
I think it's because of the authority people put in men and in their own mind and intellect. Because when you see, they say, 2,000 years of church history, or however this was settled for over 2,000 years, that Jesus is God. And that's you're just talking politics at that point. You're not talking real life, you know. You're talking about what smart people, I guess, or the powerful people anyway, agreed to back then. And that doesn't mean anything. Look at how lost the church is. You know?
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, but we can talk all day about the amazing things that Jesus did. You know what I mean? And even I do that a lot of times because I try to gather more of an understanding about Jesus as a whole. You know what I mean?
What did he do that's amazing? For example.
Well, for example, the whole situation having to do with Jesus.
Stay close to your phone.
True. Oh, all right.
Thank you.
Well, the whole thing having to do with Jesus is proof to me that God had endured for our sake. You know what I mean? And to be more specific, it almost seems absurd to say that God has endured in anything, but he indeed has through his son, Jesus. The reason why I put it like that is because, you know, this is the very reasons why Jesus said things like he had put on our flesh. You know what I mean? And his very sacrifice for us was him making a way for us. You know what I mean? Because to me, it seemed like God had to make that enduring manifest in the flesh through his son Jesus. You know what I mean? And the effect of that was making a way for us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I might. It sounds like you're talking about Jesus enduring.
Well, yeah, just in the fleshly aspect, how he lives a life of no sin, but then made that sacrifice for us on the cross. You know what I mean? I don't really want to get into it, but I want to I want to go back to what you said a moment ago about how messed up the church is.
All right.
And I really, really agree with that. This church has a serious problem nowadays, especially when it comes to the scriptures. You know what I mean? You're talking to a Christian who has gone beyond his denomination that he was raised with to find any scriptures that I could find. And that itself has caused a major problem because when you jump from denomination to denomination, you come to realize that this other denomination that you jump to has more scriptures than the one that you originally started at. And it creates a situation to where holiness is in the in the eye of the beholder, is how they say it, I guess. And that cannot be the way that Jesus would have wanted things. You know what I mean? Because we're all talking about truth here, and with truth, there is only one way. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So, with all that said, that's led me to discover things like the Apocrypha. You know what I mean? Things that are not particularly accepted in particular denominations, like the Protestants. You know what I mean? I don't mean to ramble about all this, but I just want to make sure that you're understanding what I'm saying.
Not really.
What do you mean? Because, like, I mean, listen, in the Protestant denominations, there are, 66 books that are accepted amongst the canon. If you go to
No, I understand that, but I don't understand what your point is. I don't understand what the concern is.
Well, we're all going off of our understanding of what scriptures say. And amongst all the Christian denominations in the world, some denominations have more scriptures than even the Protestants have. And so we all have different views.
Nice. I don't know. Well, let's talk about this another time, Kevin.
All right, Hake. Thanks for letting me ramble about that. But yeah, I think my point was made.
Cool.
Have a good one.
All right. Thank you, man.
All right.
Bye. Okay. Before I get to your all's calls, I would be remiss not to do y'all's super chats. Oh, sorry, Csal. She said ask what race these people are. Well, William 7 is Mexican or Latino, but he's very Americanized, seemingly. You know, he sounds full-blown American. You can't tell what he is. William 7. And Anthony is a Coptic Christian, so who went to Egypt. Coptic Christian. What ethnicity? The Copts. Coptic Christians are an ethno-religious group, indigenous Egyptian ethnicity, direct descendants of ancient Egyptians. So he's Egyptian, but he's Coptic. But Copts, I thought that they kind of fled back to Egypt. I'm growing. Back to Egypt. Back to Egypt. Sorry. Not sorry, forgive me. Copts. Native to Northeast Africa. And no idea what he looks like. Here, let's find out. He looks just like this. That's Anthony in SoCal. I'm kidding, Anthony. Yeah, that's probably what he looks like, except a grown man. He looks like Jesus. Whatever. I mean, that might not be Jesus, but he looks like that. Nice. He looks like, this probably is what his mother looks like. Very pretty, huh? And not that, because that's Muslim. I'm just kidding. No, don't mean to talk about your mother, Anthony, in SoCal. All right. And let me look. Typical Mexican. Oh, Lord. Not foods. And that's... I'm kidding, William 7. But William 7 is probably driving, so he's not watching. So this is what William 7 looks like. That's him. There you go, Csal. What a mess. Oh, no. Okay, so let me make sure that I read these from Cesar or Cesar. Yeah. All right. I think that's what you asked. Is that true, Csal Ladito? Crowned Csal, please ask them their race. I neglected to. I almost interrupted, but didn't. All right, and you see this one from, at this point, just call me Mike. States. All right, Hake, you put me on the spot. I did, man. Forgive me, Mike. But you know I got a hard time expressing myself. Shrugging emoji. Shrugging white man. French-Canadian emoji. I wasn't able Friday to say why I think Trump is compromised. I agree the deportations thing was not a good example. Nice. So I will do a little homework and come back with why I think that Trump is compromised by the Israelis and the Jewish people who want him to be pro-Israel and bomb Iran, etc. And maybe you'll be able to tell me where I'm wrong. Don't get it twisted. I love Trump, but quote-unquote, all caps, I feel like I don't think he was aware when he first announced that he was running to be president of what this deal included. You know what I'm saying, quote-unquote. Shout out, David. You know, Cal says that a lot. I know Daddy can't do no wrong, and you're cross-legged. Because Hake says crossing your legs is fine. My grandpa did it. Just like Joe Biden and Obama do it. Shout out, Grandpa. Docs, my grandpa, is crossing his legs. Anyway, he started this movement, but his incapacity to make it happen. I'm trying to speak French-Canadian. English. Turned this generation into something even greater. Time are changing, Hake, and one day everyone will have to choose their side. Shout out to Derek. That's my ninja emoji. Nice. And he says, all right, Jaime. First of all, your name is a conjugated French verb, meaning I love. So that's Guy emoji, I guess. And I'm way more conservative and based than you'll ever be. Remember the Twin Towers. Dizzy emoji. Do you remember the dancing Israelis? I disclaim and disavow that. Israelis dancing doesn't mean anything. Those are just randos. But it was reported in Fox News, and I searched it after the Groypers went after Charlie Kirk those years ago. Rest in peace. They need eyes and ears over there. And then they asked the United States to send their troops to solve their problems. Who died in the Iraq War? It's like communism in a way. How keeping $3.8 billion home annually instead of funding a war, he says fondling, a war that has nothing to do with American interests. Communism to you. Israel is a vessel of the United States. Vassal state. I'll believe it when these people will come to Washington to kiss the White House walls. Smooch emoji. Thank you, Mike. Nice. And based America first. Coffee. Based AF means America first. In a rare public appearance September 25th, one of the best Supreme Court justices, Clarence Thomas, spoke to Catholic University's Columbus School of Law in D.C. Oh, so just over a month ago, I guess. Clarence Thomas argued precedents should not be treated as gospel, and the legal doctrine of stare decisis, respecting prior decisions, should not mean justices turn off the brain and blindly follow past rulings. That's right, Clarence Thomas, justice, the one true justice. Friendly with JLP, by the way. Friends, I would even say. He suggested some justices, and his wife too, Ginny Thomas. He suggested some justices have blindly followed prior judgments. Yeah, comparing them to passengers on a train. We never go to the front to see who's driving the train. Where is it going? You could go up there in the engine room, find it's an orangutan driving the train. Wow, watch the racialized language there, Clarence Thomas. But you want to follow that just because it's a train. According to SCOTUSblog.com, SCOTUS being Supreme Court of the United States, abbreviation, the Supreme Court begins hearing arguments regarding tariffs November 5th. It has scheduled a private conference November 7th. Coming up soon. to consider hearing Kim Davis's challenge to Obergefell. Hey, I remember Kim Davis. Oh, pardon the extra S sound, Lin Yen Chin. Kim Davis challenge to Obergefell. He didn't spell it with that extra S, so I shouldn't read it with an extra S. The Trump administration has asked the court to weigh in on the legality of the executive order seeking to end the birthright citizenship. Nice. The so-called Supreme Court takes the case. If they do it, it would likely hear arguments in 2026 with a decision by summer. Wow, wouldn't that be a dream? No more anchor babies. You're not, just because you're born here doesn't make you American. If you're born here to people who are not under our proper jurisdiction, here illegally in mess like that, very nice. On the Supreme Court. And nice, and I like Clarence Thomas. Cesar or Cesar. Sup, Hake? Sup, Cesar? Cesar. My answer is no to your question on whether I think Trump is compromised. Nice, thanks. Because he did think Trump is influenced by Israel, but not compromised. And regarding my last coffee, since you twisted up the meaning of the word influenced that I used when it came to Trump and Israel, let's just say I believe when Trump is given money by pro-Israel supporters, he leans more towards them and what makes them happy. Okay, yeah, maybe. I think Trump is a little bit more like Clarence Thomas. You know how they say, oh, Clarence Thomas is supported by this billionaire paying his granddaughter whatever. This billionaire appreciates the greatness of Clarence Thomas and wants to share of his wealth with gifts. Clarence Thomas, like Trump, is unshakable and cannot be influenced. Well, he can be influenced, but he cannot be moved from his core values, we'll say, for lack of a better word. That doesn't sound right. It sounds liberal. Core values. Sounds like a normie conservative word. Anyway, doesn't make him compromised or bought by them, but let's put it this way. He knows Zion Dawn, I like to call him. Only in a good way. Anyway. Oh, there's that word. Ugh. I wonder how many times I've said it unconsciously today. He knows they are powerful people in this world, so I think he has the if you can't beat them, join them mentality. Yeah, and you have to work with people, even if you don't want to join them. Have a great show, Hake, and a great week, everybody. 10 praying hands, or thanks hands, celebration hands that are tan, and a strong Dominican arm emoji. I think he's Dominican, right? Something like that. Very nice. Thank you, guys. I miss popcorn. Don't you guys miss popcorn? Where's popcorn? Let me go back to my Streamlabs, make sure that I'm caught up here. Oh, and I mentioned Kofi. Hey. Kofi. Lamb. Little lamb. Little lamb. Lying on the hillside. Little lamb. Oh, no. Little lamb. Lamb says, hey, Hake, this was on the 31st. I'm not sure at what point on Halloween Friday this came in. Hey, Hake, so happy to hear you back on MDD. Big grin emoji. Modern day debate. I think you gave free will, that's William, free will, William, free will and Phoebe, my debate opponents, on the was Trump the right pick over Kamala question, as if it's a question. Some really interesting points to chew over. And Michael was a great debate partner. Yes, I agree. Michael was brilliant. He reminded me of one of my friends. Please do the Israel debate. I really enjoyed hearing you express your thoughts in the debate format. K, bye. And I said, thanks. Right on, Lamb. Sweet. And I did pass that along to Brandy, Lin Yen Chin. Very nice. Very, very nice. You guys want to look at a hedgehog this is gross. That's a little hedgehog baby thing. I thought that this person tore off the head, but no, he just pulled out some hedgehog. Supposedly hedgehog. This is on, and look, it's growing its spikes or hair or whatever. Newborn hedgehog. This is from Vincent Graham Wildlife on threads.com. Aw, all cute. While I'm doing this, allow me to get to your calls. Okay? Catch anchor, baby. Hayden in Texas is on the line over here. Hayden, thank you for calling and holding, sir. What's up?
My brother Hake, I want my reparations, man.
Nice. Me too.
I'm finna about to loot a grocery store and get for my SNAP benefits taken away. That white devil Trump taking my SNAP benefits away.
Me too. I'm about to snap.
No, I'm just joking around. I have a few things I want to ask you before I get to my topic.
Okay.
Number one, I heard this, and I don't know if it's true or not. Is it true that the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, is a billionaire?
I think I heard something to that effect.
What does he do outside of being governor? I was told that he was worth like $3.9 billion or something like that. That's his net worth.
Okay, so
what does he do?
He's heir to the Hyatt Hotels fortune, and has an estimated net worth of $3.9 billion per Forbes. He does not take a salary as governor. He's placed his assets in a blind trust to avoid conflicts of interest. So somehow he is an heir to the Hyatt. You've heard of HYATT, Hyatt Hotels chain?
I have.
He also has a background as an investor and leader of a tech incubator. And
wow,
he's known for philanthropy, funding the Chicago Poker Challenge, a charity event that's raised millions for various causes, according to far-left Google AI. So I believe that he is, what is he? I think he's Jewish. Is he a Jewish or Italian? I think he's Jewish, actually. Born in Palo Alto, California. That's like a Bay Area, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of nice area. Son of Donald Pritzker and Sue Pritzker, born Sandel. Sandel. So named after his paternal uncles. Abe Pritzker was a business lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Pritzker family, a Jewish family of Ukrainian descent, prominent in business and philanthropy during the late 20th century, consistently ranked near the top of Forbes' America's Richest Families list since its inception in 1982. So his father was president of Hyatt Hotels, died of a heart attack. It turned it at 39 and 72. Oh, man.
Wow.
So his mother became ill after his dad died. So he moved in with his aunt at age 12. And his mother died at 49 and 82. So anyway, he's been through a life. And he was fat. And I think, is he slimming down now? I don't know.
No, not at all.
Okay. But yeah, I guess he's from a well-to-do family that knows how to invest and do business and do kind of leadership type of business things. And there he is. He had the look of like an Italian, right? But no, he's actually Jewish. Or maybe he's he's mixed into some different things. Huh.
That's not good. That's not good. Yeah, I didn't know about that. Someone had told me that he was a billionaire.
Yep.
And I was like, so like, is he a billionaire or a multi-billionaire? How much is he worth? And
I think it's 3.7 if I recall correctly. Let's find out.
Yeah, in that ballpark.
3.9.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about him. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then also, I saw in the news, Chrissy Noam saying that because the Republicans have frozen the SNAP benefits, the EBT benefits or whatever, that a lot of the illegals by the millions are self-deporting because they aren't receiving the benefits that are granted anymore from the Biden administration.
I haven't heard, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. It would make sense.
Yeah.
Like if you show these pictures of this deportation stuff, and you make a big and you make a big show that you're bombing drug boats, I think that drug boats and illegals will kind of realize, hey, it's rough over here. And then the other thing that you did, cut off their welfare, make it less comfortable for them to be here. They'll go. Some of them may go back.
Yeah.
With
exactly
they'll see
right.
the writing on the wall, so to speak. That's nice.
Because the reason why, and I say Biden's team, but whoever was controlling, we call it the auto pen, the auto pen presidency, whoever was controlling that, they were just keeping these illegals in, giving them whenever they wanted, so that they would vote for Kamala in 24 or whoever afterwards if she had won. But luckily that didn't happen.
Ain't no way I believe millions are self-deporting, says Jules Verne. Yeah, I don't know if millions would self-deport, because a lot of them are really entrenched
that's what
here.
Christy said.
I don't know about millions, but many might. And actually, she's encouraged in there's many different reasons why they would self-deport. One of them is you go on the app and say, okay, I'm self-deporting. You tell them, hey, I'm illegal, or I'm illegal, but I'm self-deporting. You don't have to worry about me. And then you get some sort of benefits for being honest for once in your life. Because they're living a dishonest life, basically, by being here.
Exactly right.
What a mess. They're hiding, says Slave to Him. Who knows? Yeah, Christy Noem, I don't really trust her, but shout out.
Yeah. Well, see, I tend to trust. She seems pretty reliable, and also Tom Homan as well.
Yeah.
I tend to believe both of them. I like Tom Homan a lot. He's doing a great job as the borders are.
Right on. Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, would I be able to bring up a few viral interviews that have happened in the past couple of days, or is that prohibited on your show?
Well, I don't want to promote any other shows, but is one of them that you're referring to the Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes one?
Exactly, yes.
That one we can talk about, because I watched it in its entirety, and I've been talking about it without mentioning their names necessarily. What was your take on that? And there's an overreaction too, by the way. That was what I was mentioning at the very beginning of my show.
Yeah, I wanted to see if you had covered it or not. And exactly, there was an overreaction by the left and
the so-called right.
Exactly right.
Ted Cruz is calling him a Nazi for no reason, just because he's a Zoomer who doesn't believe the World War II narrative or history, and he agrees with Hitler, but he didn't think that the Holocaust happened. And if he doesn't think that the Holocaust happened, you should be relieved, because he doesn't want a Holocaust. He doesn't want another Holocaust. He doesn't want to kill people, except for like witches and witchcraft people. According to a clip that I saw shared by Brandon Tatum, who's attacking him for that. And I don't necessarily think witchcraft is necessarily a capital offense. But anyway, like, he's a young guy. I mean, and the way he speaks, how can you not like him? Anyway, so go ahead.
Exactly. I mean, he's got such a great personality and stuff.
Yeah, and he doesn't come off hateful at all. He is funny, lighthearted. Sometimes he criticizes very harshly, but it's all very reasonable, and he's no different from how anybody else talks in terms of the spirit. Is maybe better.
Right.
He's kind of he reminds me of Trump in his attitude.
He does. He said in the interview that at the time Trump was one of his heroes, along with Kanye. I can't believe he said Kanye was his hero.
Yeah, I mean, he's loved him You loved his music because he was a normal, well-to-do, well-to-do, white kid, if you want to call him white, right? Who grew up amongst a bunch of whites. So he's just a normal. You know who red-pilled him was so-called red-pilled on the race issue was Mark Levin. He was a fan of Mark Levin. He liked how Mark Levin was rude to people.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said in the interview, "Oh, I listened to Mark Levin and I was a Ted Cruz guy. I knocked on doors for Ted Cruz in 2016. I didn't like Trump at first."
I heard that.
And he liked Mark Levin, how Mark Levin has an attitude. And Mark Levin is a competitor. He's like a fellow radio host, and he's Fox News host, I think.
Yeah, he's on Fox.
I think he might have been in the Reagan administration. And a very smart guy, knows like the Constitution, and I used to listen to him when I was a younger man. And I still sometimes hear him, and for some reason, he's being overly serious against Tucker, and I get that they're attacking kind of each other, and so it's just nasty.
Why.
Yeah, people are really overreacting, I say, when they should.
Oh, definitely.
When they should totally just be working together, where they agree and disagree where they disagree. It's not an existential disagreement at all, but they're acting like it is.
But because Fuentes says a lot of the same stuff that right wingers say.
Yeah.
He just has a perspective on more of an extreme level, and you know, I can't say that I disagree with the stuff he says.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't understand why. I'm not gonna say this most, but some on the right are reacting to this in a really weird way. Like, for example, I don't know what event that was, but did you see those young conservatives holding those signs that said Tucker's not MAGA? I don't know what event that was.
Yeah, I saw it, and I remember what event it was. I mean, I don't remember the name of the event offhand, but it was an event where I was talking about, they were saying Tucker is not MAGA. It was a Jewish Republican Federation or something like that, Republican Jewish
Oh, well, there you go.
Conference. And they honored Floyd Mayweather Jr. was there, and he got a nice award for, flying over to Israel and bringing supplies and meeting with the soldiers and doing a little exhibition boxing match with some of the soldiers and just being supportive, and because he had Jewish friends and who loved Israel, and so he's like, "Hey, I love you guys, so let me help out." And
right.
And so I was like, "Oh, that's sweet," but it's like a showing your good deeds before men and making this big show of false love, and you turn around and hate Tucker. I'm like, what? Tucker is not.
I know.
It doesn't make sense. And I don't know what Tucker's saying about them, but it's an unnecessary evil and hate going on.
I agree.
Yeah.
And Tucker's not really saying anything about them. He's just saying about he's talking mainly about the control Israel has over the U.S. And he's not going after Jews in like specifically.
Yeah.
He's just talking about the Jewish government.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine to address.
Yeah. What a mess, man. Hayden, I got to start wrapping up here. It's fun talking with you, though.
Same to you. I'll call back in another day, and we can. I have one more thing I want to talk to you about, but
that
sounds
fine. Good. All right, appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Hake. Have a good day now.
All right, you too. And Stephen in Maryland, you have 30 seconds. Stephen in Maryland, go.
Go. Okay. Well, it takes too long for me, though. I just want to ask Jesse to have three guests. I'd like to hear him.
I think you already told you told Derek on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about Mr. Trump. You still don't have 5 minutes, right?
No, not 5 minutes, 30 seconds.
Oh, well, my time's up there.
Yeah.
I have to talk to you later.
All right, that sounds good. It's nice to hear your voice. Have a good win. Catch you another time, man.
You too.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye. And Jermaine in Canada had a question about Jesus being the Word, or is he? I gotta go, man. You're a priority tomorrow or whenever you call back. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. Bye.